Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is your host with the biggest nose, JC Courtside, coming at y'all today on Thursday, February 19th. Good morning, good afternoon to everybody. I hope everybody's having a phenomenal week. I haven't seen you guys since Monday, so I hope everybody's getting after. I hope you guys were good at work, school, whatever it may be. I hope life is treating y'all well. I told y'all we'd be live today, even though there's no NBA games to cover. I still got some stuff, some fun stuff, some nuances to cover while we've been gone. Okay, so today's episode is going to be relatively short. Today's episode is going to be cool and casual. You know what I mean? It's going to be nice, cool, and cash. That's all it's going to be. So don't expect a long episode today. We're just going to be super cash, super cool. And then tomorrow, obviously, we're going to have some games to recap, talking about why the Knicks win won't mean anything against the Pistons because they don't have Duren or Stu, or talking about why the Knicks are not serious teams when they lose to the Pistons without Duren or Stu. So it's a lose-lose for them, okay? Guys, before we get started in today's episode, if y'all can do me a major favor, I see a lot of you guys are listening on Spotify now. If you are listening on Spotify, don't forget to leave a 5-star rating and review on Spotify. And something I do need, I don't know if you guys just don't listen on Apple, but we do post all these episodes on Apple. So be sure to leave a 5-star rating and review over there. It truly helps more than y'all could possibly understand. And of course, if you guys are on TikTok, YouTube, be sure to drop likes, subscribe, follow. We do this Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern, except for this week because there was no NBA. There was no NBA. You guys can't just expect me to go live and talk about nothing. I did that for 5.5 years when I was a gaming creator. I can't do that now while I'm a hoops creator, okay? And of course, Twitch chat. You guys have the easiest job in the entire world. All you guys got to do is sit back, relax, grab an energy drink or some coffee, and enjoy the show. Guys, let's get started with the most recent news. Domantas Sabonis of the Sacramento Kings underwent season-ending surgery on Wednesday morning to repair the torn meniscus on his left knee. Sabonis rehabbed the meniscus tear during the season and tried to play through the injury before having the surgery now. So, my point being, Toronto fans, Atlanta fans, you guys dodged a bullet. And I'm pretty confident that's why a trade didn't go through. I'm pretty sure Sacramento talked about this with those teams because you can't trade somebody that has ongoing issues without disclosing those ongoing issues. So I think the Kings had to disclose what Sabonis is going through. And unfortunately, it didn't happen. Fortunately, it didn't happen for Toronto or Atlanta. That would have been bad. Here's the thing. Sabonis isn't the only one down. Zach LaVine is also currently undergoing a season-ending surgery to repair a tendon injury in his hand. So I got to tell y'all, man, people in my Twitch chat are saying right now they're tanking for sure. Sacramento needs to be investigated. Jazz and Kings are the most obvious tank jobs. I got to be honest with all y'all. You guys haven't watched nearly as much. Listen, I'm a sicko. I am an NBA sicko. I mean that wholeheartedly. I watched the most dog shit games just because I love basketball. And I've watched a lot of the Kings ball. I've watched a lot of them this year. And I'm here to tell y'all that the Kings are on a 14-game losing streak. And they are not intentionally tanking. This team is just that bad. I have seen this team try to win all of their past games, but they can't because they are that bad. They are the worst team in the NBA. I'm not just saying that. They are, like, standings-wise, the worst team in the NBA. They're worse than the Wizards. They're worse than the Pacers. They're worse than this is the big one, the Pelicans. To be worse than the New Orleans Pelicans, not just the worst team in the league, but arguably the worst franchise in the NBA. I'm sorry, Liam. I love you. That's impressive. That is impressive to be that bad. In fact, the reason why it's so impressive is because their owner, I've talked about him, I don't know how many times. Vivek is the worst owner in the entire, I think, North American sports. I think arguably the worst in all North American sports, the owner of the Sacramento Kings. And I don't think it's even close. He doesn't care about anything other than putting asses in seats. That's it. That's all, guys. That is all. He doesn't care about how the team does. He just wants them to be mediocre after mediocre after mediocre because all he wants to do is sell tickets. That's it. I'm being told that the Pittsburgh Pirates owner is by far the worst. I don't know what that is. I think that's baseball. But arguably, the worst owner in the entire North American sports, arguably. So my whole point being is watching this happen, I genuinely want Adam Silver to step in because it's disgusting. It's disgusting. It's so aggravating. It's so annoying. Like, we're watching like actual pathetic display of basketball on the court every night for this team. And I think it's time that the Adam Silver needs to just step in because it's bad. It's bad. It's bad. It's bad. Like, this is not even tanking, guys. This is unintentional tanking. DeRozan is still playing. Levine was playing. Sabonis was playing. And on top of all of that, you look at the rest of their team and you're like, okay, you can be convinced that they have some young talent. Can I be honest with everybody? Dylan Cardwell is raw, but he's 24 years old. So the hype about Dylan Cardwell, it's super forced, man. He's averaging 5 points, 7 rebounds, and he's 24 years old. So it's not like this guy's 2 years older than Jalen Duren. So I don't agree with the hype there. And then there's Neat Clifford, who's 23. He just dropped his career high 30 points, but he's still averaging 6 points per game this year because he's just now been let loose. I would like to remind y'all, he dropped 30 points in a game, and then the very next game, this is not Photoshop, this is not exaggeration, he played 38 minutes. He was a minus 26 on the court. This is against Utah, the worst defense in the entire NBA. Ladies and gentlemen, he shot 1 for 15, 0 for 5 from deep. So my point being is, for the Kings fans out there, stop supporting a team that doesn't care about your support. Stop watching this team. Stop buying tickets to this team. This is an utter embarrassment. The fact that they are charging tickets. They're charging you for tickets to go into the arena. You had one guy who had some value. One. And his name was Keon Ellis. And you traded him. And who else did they I don't remember who they traded. It was Keon Ellis and Dennis Schroeder. That's right. My point being, they will never, ever be a competent basketball team in the National Basketball Association with Vivek as their owner. Ever. It's never going to happen. So now my issue, and I feel like it has to be talked about, right, is they had one goal at the NBA trade deadline, okay? They had one goal, guys. Please lock in for a second and hear me. They had one goal. Get our books lighter. We need less salary by this trade deadline. We're too expensive. We need to shorten our books. Do you know what the Sacramento Kings did at the trade deadline? Their one goal was to shed some salary. Do you know what they did? I'm warning everybody that's got me through their car speakers or their headphones. You got 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. They made their salary go up. They got DeAndre Hunter from the Cleveland Cavaliers and made their books go up. They needed to get cheaper. Instead, they added arguably one of the worst players in the entire National Basketball Association in DeAndre Hunter. DeAndre Hunter is more money than Dennis Schroeder and more money than Keon Ellis. Yet you traded your one guy who had value in Keon Ellis for this guy here. I don't understand what Vivek is doing. I don't know what Vivek is doing. Your one goal was to get cheaper by the trade deadline. And instead, you increased your salary. You have less money now. You have Zach LaVine. He's cooked. You have Domantas Sabonis. He's cooked. You have Russell Westbrook. Jesus, man. It's crazy to say that Russell Westbrook has been their best player this year. He's averaging 34.5% from deep. He's averaging 15 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists. Like, it's crazy that Russell Westbrook is not even like a little bit their best player. He is legitimately their best player on the court at all times. You can look at DeMar DeRozan, but his percentages are all down from his typical averages. It's truly embarrassing. It's embarrassing. It's really embarrassing. I've said it all the time. The Sacramento Kings are the Chicago Bulls of the East. I've said it time in and time out. The Chicago Bulls never want to do a full rebuild, ever. They never want to do a full rebuild. And guess who else doesn't? The Sacramento Kings. Now, what I will say is shout out Chicago, shout out Chi-Town, shout out Deep Dish, even though it's lasagna and not real pizza. Shout out Chicago. They finally said, let's go in the rebuild. You know what the problem about that is? Again, headphones warning, car speakers warning. 3, 2, 1. You waited until you couldn't get a single first-round pick for all your guys. Vucevic 2 years ago would have got you 3 first-rounders. Kobe White 2 years ago would have got you 3 first-rounders. All of these players that you traded could have got you multiple first-round picks, but yet the Chicago Bulls waited too long and didn't get a single first-round pick for any of their guys. So, I'd like to say, at least the Bulls attempted and got some second-rounders. The Sacramento Kings, the reason why they can't trade anybody is because they put these guys on too much of contracts. All of these guys have egregious contracts that nobody wants them. Nobody wants them, bro. They give Dennis Schroeder, who was living off of $5 million a year, they gave him $35 million for Dennis Schroeder, who's been traded 7 times in the last 9 months. I'd like to give a special shout out to Money Crow Twix. Thank you for leaving the TikTok stream and coming through to the Twitch stream. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate everybody in the TikTok as well, but I would appreciate y'all much, much more if you come into the Twitch stream. We'd love to have you guys, man. Even though the Chicago Bulls have 19 guards, at least they attempted a rebuild. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are a fan of the Sacramento Kings, please do me a favor. Do yourself a favor and just leave. They're not holding you hostage. I understand how tough it can be to live in a city where their team is dog shit. I'm a Pistons fan. I saw it. I paid for tickets during it. I understand what it's like rooting for a dog shit team. But this team will always be dog shit. This team will never be, as long as Vivek is the owner, they will never amount to anything. So please do yourselves a favor and switch your fandom. A lot of franchises would love to have you being a fan of them. Okay? I'd like to give another shout out to Money Crow for leaving the TikTok stream and coming through to the Twitch stream. Get involved in the conversation over here, even though he's just talking about Denny Avdia. Be sure, guys, again, TikTok, I'm shouting out everybody that comes through to the Twitch as well. TikTok, don't forget this. If you guys watch 3 Twitch streams in a row, I will gift you a $5 subscription on Twitch. All you got to do is switch to the Twitch. That's Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch. The link is in the description on TikTok. Again, if you just watch 3 Twitch streams in a row, I will gift you a $5 sub. Guys, let's move on to our next piece of news. Oh, man. Franz Wagner will undergo more rehabilitation for the soreness in his left high ankle sprain, and he will be reevaluated in 3 more weeks. Wait, I'm being told that Money Crow Twix is a Portland Trailblazers fan. Oh, my goodness. The Infinity Stone. Money Crow, we don't have a single Blazers fan in our Discord. We are trying to get a fan of every single NBA team in our Discord. You will be our first ever Blazers fan. Please join the Discord. Please join the Discord. I'd like to give another shout out to I'm on Godspeed. Thank you for the follow on Twitch. Much love. Make a Discord and join it. We don't have a Blazers fan. We need you. Again, guys, we are trying, we do have a couple, we have one Pelicans fan, and he is the God's strongest Pelicans fan. So please be sure to come through to the Twitch stream. Somebody said, how do I join? I'm a Wizards fan. Vandal, get your ass in the Twitch stream. That's it. If you watch 3 Twitch streams in a row, I will gift you a $5 sub. We're trying to get a fan of every NBA team right now. So please do me a favor, do yourself a favor, join a basketball knowing community and come through to the Twitch stream, guys. We'd love to have y'all. Once you get in the Twitch, join the Discord. All right, guys, we need Wizards fans. We need Pels fans. We need Blazers fans. We need every fan. We need Pistons fans as well, because I'm a Pistons fan and we don't have enough. Okay. We don't have any Kings fans, so be sure to join as well, J Games. Again, guys, the Twitch stream is in my bio. All you guys got to do is click the profile picture at the top, click the profile picture that pops up right here, and then click the link right there in the bio, Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch. We'd love to have you guys come through, okay? So, let's continue. Franz Wagner's out. And he's going to be reevaluated in another 3 weeks. Now, yeah, we have a Kings fan right there, but Tex doesn't talk in the Discord. Glad to know he's in the stream, though. So, what does this mean for the Orlando Magic? What does this mean? What does this mean, ladies and gents? Okay, what does this mean? Well, if the link isn't working, TikTok, all you guys got to do is go to the Twitch app and just look up Jay-Z Uncut, bro. That's it. Simple as that. Come through. We'd love to have you. Here we go. Oh my God. Burrow Buckets. What's going on, man? Good to have you in the Twitch stream. Very good to have y'all. So let's continue. I keep getting interrupted. What does this mean for the Orlando Magic? Well, basically, here's the thing. Franz Wagner has missed 25 of their last 29 games since getting this injury on December 7th. Again, he has missed 25 out of his last 29 games. Now, that's an issue. You know what the biggest issue about this is? Is that now, since he's going to be reevaluated in 3 weeks, that doesn't mean he's coming back in 3 weeks. What that means is he's going to be reevaluated in 3 weeks, which puts us at March 5th. And March 5th, he will probably come back a week, maybe 2 weeks after that, which puts us at the end of March. Let's say March 12th to March 19th. There's a month left in the season at that point. So what does that mean for the Orlando Magic? Okay. And here's time for me to be fully blunt and honest. Let's talk about Paolo Banchero. Paolo Banchero has played 43 games this season and still has an estimated field goal percentage of 31.5 on pull-up jumpers. There are 60 other NBA players to attempt 180 plus pull-up shots this year. I talked about this in the first 2 weeks and nobody believed me. Not a single one has an estimated field goal percentage below 40% other than Paolo Banchero. He is lapping the field for the title of the worst volume jump shooter in the entire NBA. And if you don't believe me, I know I'm not the only one that likes graphs, right? Here's your graph. TikTok actually can't even see it because the screen is too little over there. If you're in the Twitch stream, you can see it. So obviously we see it. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is the best. There's Luka, there's Jamal Murray, there's Donovan Mitchell, Big Brunson, Jaylen Brown. And then once you start getting lower and you look at the extremely high volume guys like Devin Booker, Brandon Ingram, Kawhi Leonard, James Harden, Cade Cunningham. And then if you just keep going, if you just keep scrolling, you'll start seeing some familiar faces in the bad department. Cooper Flagg, LaMelo Ball, Brandon Miller, Desmond Bane. And then if you go all the way to the bottom left of the graph, you have Paolo Banchero. And it's not just bad. It's actually the worst we've ever seen in this century mark. In the 21st century, this is the worst pull-up percentage we have seen. It's that bad. It is that bad. I can't move the screen. I apologize, TikTok. If you guys want to see the full screen, just come through to the Twitch. Link in my bio. Jay-Z Uncut, same name on Twitch. So my point being is that out of 200 players, he is the worst in the entire NBA at pull-up shooting. Now, I've talked about the Orlando Magic a lot. I've talked about them way too much. And I've already laid out the ground plan and what this team is going to look like. Okay? But I'll say it again because I know a lot of people, this might be their first time watching me. A year ago, the Orlando Magic lost to the Boston Celtics in 5 in the first round, and that's okay. That's okay. Their summer plan it should have been just add shooters. Add shooters, that's all it's going to take. You just got to add shooters and a playmaker. And instead, they traded their entire future for Desmond Bane. Desmond Bane is not a player that's a last piece. What Desmond Bane is he is a last piece to a championship team. He's not the guy that they traded for. He's not the guy that they should have traded for. The Orlando Magic, before they traded for Desmond Bane, I think I can speak for everybody. And by the way, there's a Celtics fan in the TikTok that said, as a Celtics fan, I was scared of the Magic team. Everybody was. I was terrified of the Orlando Magic. Celtics fans knew, the entire Eastern Conference knew that the Orlando Magic are dangerous. They're looking scary. With their team, all they need is a couple pieces and they're good. Instead, they traded their entire future for Desmond Bane. And on the day they did that, their window went from here down to here. Tijuana, I just started talking about the Orlando Magic 2 minutes ago, so go crazy. That's why I don't interact with the TikTok stream. TikTok, if you guys want to get away from morons like Tijuana in the TikTok stream, be sure to come through to the Twitch stream. We don't have idiots like that in the Twitch. So same name on Twitch, Jay-Z Uncut. When you do come through to the Twitch, be sure to let me know what team you're a fan of. And if you watch 3 Twitch streams in a row, I'll gift you a $5 sub. So just come through to the Twitch. It's very, very fun. It's very, very fun over here. So that's the issue with the Orlando Magic. Like, with this new bargain agreement, with this new way of how the NBA works, you have to be smart with your finances. Otherwise, it's not going to work. And that's why you see teams like the Pistons just rolling with what they got because they're playing with house money. So when you look at what the Orlando Magic did, their window was this big. When they traded for Desmond Bane, it shrank because now the Orlando Magic have to win this year or next year because they have the 3rd most expensive salary going into next season. They have the 3rd most expensive salary in the entire NBA next year. They spent 5 picks, technically 4 first-round picks and a pick swap. So 5 picks for Desmond Bane. So they mortgaged their entire future and they rushed their window. And now, do you guys genuinely believe that the Orlando Magic have enough to win this season? Okay, probably not. What about next season? Because that's their limit. So now here I'm telling you right now, Motion Man. Shout out to Motion Man for having motion and coming through to the Twitch stream. I appreciate you very much, bro. Motion Man, be sure to join our Discord. Let me know what team you support. And if you watch 3 Twitch streams in a row, I will gift you a $5 sub. We got a Sixers fan that just came through to the Twitch as well. Be sure to join the Discord, Godspeed. We'd love to have you in there, bro. Guys, if you watch 3 Twitch streams in a row, I will gift you a $5 subscription, which would remove all ads for your profile. So be sure to stick around to watch 3 in a row, okay? And if you want to join the Discord, just click that link in the chat right there that says Discord, okay? Shout out to Ryan, and Twisted Beat-Dot. Thank you guys so much for the follows. Thank you guys so much for leaving the TikTok and coming through to the Twitch stream. Be sure to join the Discord. And remember, if you guys watch 3 Twitch streams in a row, I will gift you a $5 subscription. Twisted Bot came in here and said, Bane is a waste on salary cap. They need to dump him for a shooter. I take Healed over Bane. Now, here's the argument. And let me finish up this story on the Orlando Magic. What they did is they rushed their timeline, okay? Franz Wagner's on a max contract, okay? Paolo Banchero is on a max contract, all right? Shout out to you for joining the Discord, money. Be sure, hey, you're a Rockets fan. Join the Discord, Ryan. It's very, very, very good to have you, my boy. Welcome on in. We're very, very happy to have you. Shout out to all of you guys for leaving the TikTok and coming through to the Twitch stream. Remember, guys, if you watch 3 Twitch streams in a row, I will gift you a $5 subscription. So what the Orlando Magic did, they rushed their timeline. And do any of us genuinely believe that this is a championship caliber team next season? Because that's what their salary books tell you. They need to win next year. So here's what's going to happen. They're not going to win next year. And here's what's going to happen. You're a Celtics fan. You need to join the Discord, bro. We have some crazy Celtics fans in there. Yeah, you got to join up, bro. My community enjoys basketball. We stay away from the whole TikTok and Twitter and Twitter drama. Like we are our own community. So be sure to join the Discord, bro. Again, if you watch 3 Twitch streams in a row, I will gift you a $5 subscription. So stick around. The Magic are cooked, essentially. They're cooked. So now what's going to happen? They're probably going to end with a playoff spot because it's extremely hard to fall out. But that's not the biggest issue. Next year is their biggest issue. So when you look at this team, Twisted, when you look at what this team has built, they have to win next year because their salary is that expensive. And that's the main issue. So I've predicted what's going to happen. Next year, they're going to come into the season. Mind you, $214 million on the books next year. So they're going to be a 3rd or 4th most expensive team in the NBA. So coming into that, you need to understand if Franz, if Paolo, if any of them get hurt again, which they probably will, because in the entire time that they've had Franz and Paolo and Suggs, they've only played 12% of their games together in these seasons. They've played 12%. That's not going to win you a championship. Paolo has been an issue with health and game. Suggs has been an issue with health and game. Franz has been an issue with health and game. You can't have 3 players struggling with all the same things. So what's going to happen is they're going to make the playoffs. They're going to flame out. Then next year, here's what's going to happen. They're going to get hurt again. They're going to underperform again. and they're forced to trade either Paolo or Franz. Who do you think they're going to trade? Who do you think has more upside? People are going to say Paolo. They're going to say Paolo. They're going to say they're going to keep Paolo because he's got more upside. And that's probably the smart move. But at the same time, you look at this team and you think, oh my God, I can't believe they threw all this money at these guys. And now all of a sudden, what's happening? They rushed their timeline, man. They should have been here for a long time, chat. They should have been here for a long time. And instead they rushed the process. And now you are seeing what Pistons fans wanted Detroit to do this summer. I remember Pistons fans talking crazy, saying they need to add Devin Booker. They need to add James Harden. They need to add Michael Porter Jr. They need to add all of these players. Why? You're a young team. You're playing with house money. You got everything to gain, nothing to lose. See how the season plays out. You don't need to risk your entire future because look what happens when you rush your entire future. Now you're staring in the barrel of a gun with $214 million in salary next season. $214 million. Just to paint a picture for you guys so you can understand, there's only one team in the NBA this season that has $214 million in this season, and that's the Cleveland Cavaliers. That's the Cleveland Cavaliers. There's only one team in the NBA that has that money this year, that they're spending that money this year. That's the Cleveland Cavaliers. The only other team is the New York Knicks, and they're right there, $211 million. So if you look at this, salary-wise, the Cavaliers have to win this year. The New York Knicks have to win this year. And then you can look at up and down this, and it's like, yeah, you know, whatever happens, happens. But next year is the issue. The Cleveland Cavaliers have to win next year. The New York Knicks have to win next year. The Orlando Magic, one team out of those teams don't belong, have to win next year. The Denver Nuggets have to win next year. And you know what's so fucking funny that we just talked about 10 minutes ago? You know what other team needs to win next year? The Sacramento Kings. $202 million. They have to win. So when I say there's issues in this league that need to be addressed, the Orlando Magic have a big issue and they need to address. Actually, they have three big issues. They have to address one of them. Otherwise, their window is shut. And just like Dwight Howard, just like Shaq, it's happening again. It's happening once again. You're not going to see these max contracts get thrown out, given to everybody anymore. You're not going to see that. They can't do that anymore. They can't just see a couple like potential picks and just pay them. That's why I love what the Pistons did. They did not pay Duren because Duren wanted $30 million. Pistons said, hell no, you only played good for half a year. We're not giving you $30 million, take $20 million. And then Duren said, you're right. I only played good for the second half of the year. I'm going to bet on myself. I deserve that money. And now look what Jalen Duren's doing. All-star, the youngest all-star this year. I don't think the Cavs are updated with that. Not yet. Their salary's not updated. So Ryan, that's the difference. That's the difference at hand, my friend. And yeah, Twisted Bot, I fully agree with you. They need to change something when it comes to just paying these guys out of nowhere. Okay, guys, it's time we talk about a couple bold takes. I don't have that many. If you guys have some bold takes, this is the time to say them in the chat. Let me know what bold takes you have for the remaining of this regular season. Don't count playoffs, just for the second half of the NBA season. Let me know if you guys have any bold takes. And again, TikTok, YouTube, if you guys are enjoying the stream, be sure to swing on into the Twitch stream. That's Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch. That's where I read all of your messages. That's where, if you guys watch 3 Twitch streams in a row, I will gift you a $5 subscription so you no longer get ads. My boy Hellist, he lost. Thank you so much for the follow on Twitch. I appreciate you very, very much. Be sure to join the Discord as well, my boy. He said, not even about contracts. Did you hear about the Paulo theory? I'd love to hear what the Paulo theory is, but unfortunately we have to move on. So be sure to join the Discord and let me know if we can get an exclamation point Discord in the chat. Be sure to let me know in the Discord what you think that Paolo Banchero theory is. Guys, let's continue with our hot, bold takes for this NBA season. Guys, I'd love for you guys to let me know if you have any bold takes this season. My first bold take is I believe the Charlotte Hornets are, at minimum, going to get the 7th seed in the East this year. I think at minimum, they're going to climb up, and I'm not done. I think the Charlotte Hornets are going to win their division, which really doesn't mean a whole lot. But let's look at their division. The Magic are going to be without Franz Wagner for at least a month. At least a month. They're going to be there. They're going to be there. So when you look at this team, they are only 3 games behind the Orlando Magic. Now, I want to show you something that's very fun, very exciting, okay? Let's look at the next 3 games for the Charlotte Hornets. They verse the Pacers. Or sorry, I lied. They verse the Rockets, and then they verse Cleveland. But then guess what? After that, they verse the Wizards, the Bulls, the Pacers. That's 3 games right there. That's 3 games right there. So I genuinely believe that the Charlotte Hornets can win their division. And not just that, hell, if you want to tell me that they can make a 6 seed, I won't be surprised. You know why? Because I think the Charlotte Hornets are going to lock in even heavier than they were just 2 weeks ago. I think they're going to step on the gas, and I think they're really going to start pushing forward, especially with LaMelo Ball crashing his fucking Hummer. I genuinely believe that they can catch the Philadelphia 76ers. You know why? They're only 4.5 games behind them. 4.5. And in case you guys don't know, Joel Embiid, there's some drama circling the 76ers. So my 76ers fans out there, man. Oh boy, there's some drama circling right now. I don't think he's good. I don't think he's good mentally, and I don't think he's good physically. He missed. He didn't play in either of the games before the All-Star break. I need you guys to hear me one more time. He sat out the last 2 games before the All-Star break. Neither of those games were on nights of back-to-backs. Neither of them. And now, after the All-Star break, he's still out. He's not playing. He's not playing. So, why can't the Hornets catch up? I think they're going to have a killer second half of the season. I see Ryan. He said he has a hot take. As long as Kawhi on the Clippers, that team won't be anywhere higher than where they are now. I absolutely agree. I don't think that's a hot take. I absolutely agree. I fully agree. And Twisted Bot, funny enough, I also agree with that. Try Marijuana. Thank you so much for the follow on Twitch. I'm assuming you came from the TikTok. Shout out to you for leaving the TikTok and coming through to the Twitch stream. If you are enjoying, be sure to stick around in the Twitch. If you watch 3 Twitch streams in a row, I will gift you a $5 subscription so you no longer get ads on this platform. Be sure to join the Discord server as well. We're trying to be like Thanos and get every single franchise in our Discord. So whatever fan you are, let us know and join the Discord, bro. We'd love to have you in there. So that's one of my bold takes. Shout out the Hornets. Another bold take of mine is that I think the Philadelphia 76ers are in trouble. I think they're in trouble. I know Tyrese Maxey's been incredible. I know VJ Edgecombe's emergence has been incredible, but I think it might be time to just move on from Joel Embiid. I think it's time. I don't think this team can properly move on until they get rid of Joel Embiid. And now I know what you guys are thinking. This team, and it's so funny because 2 weeks ago I said, this team is only complete with Joel Embiid. But Joel Embiid is not Joel Embiid anymore. I know he's amazing when he's on the court, but he's not Joel Embiid. Mentally, physically, he wanted the Philadelphia 76ers during the trade deadline. He came out and said, I don't want us to dodge the second apron. I want us to go for it. I want us to go for it. I don't want to dodge the second apron. I don't want to. And what did they do? They didn't. They didn't do anything. He wanted Oubre gone. He wanted other guys gone so that they can go and get one more piece. And they didn't. So I think Joel Embiid is sort of checked out. Nick in the TikTok said Pistons his favorite team to watch. Join the Twitch stream, brother. Same name. Let me read a couple hot takes. He lost that. I hope the Hawks get top 6. Silver giving the Spurs another top 5 pick. The Hawks won't. The Hawks are very, very bad. Marijuana asked, mind you, I'm only reading these messages right now because today's podcast is a little chill. Since there were no NBA games, I don't have any urgent things to get to. So that's why I'm reading these. Marijuana said, what do you think my Wizards should do next season? Stick around till after the podcast. That's really not relevant for the rest of this. Yeah, it's not really relevant for the topic that we're discussing right now. I hope you can understand. Because right now we're talking about my bold takes for the second half of the season. I absolutely agree, Twisted. I think he's destroyed mentally and physically. That's a hot take. Şengün's getting traded this offseason, but we're talking about the rest of this regular season. All right, guys. Ryan said, hot take, the Knicks need to move on from Cat in order to get to the next level. You know, I've talked about that hot take for a while. I said the New York Knicks can't win with Karl Anthony Towns being their number 2. He's not consistent enough. He's not serious enough. So it's funny that you say that. Is this a hot take? Miami winning the East. Okay, let's move on to our next hot take if you guys have any. My next hot take, mind you, hot takes are supposed to not happen. It's supposed to be cool that you're saying it. So my next hot take is that the Los Angeles Lakers are going to fall into the play-in. That's my next hot take. The Los Angeles Lakers are going to fall into the play-in. Now, it's not that crazy to say that. It's not that crazy to say that. They are only, and I repeat, only a game and a half out of the play-in. Now, I want to explain a little bit. In case you guys don't know, if my Twitch chat can do exclamation point YT in the Twitch chat, I make documentaries on the side. That's like my side hustle. I make NBA documentaries. I like taking people down memory lane, and I like showing them some very fun documentaries, whether they're about Kevin Durant, Ben Wallace, Dirk Nowitzki, recapping entire decades in an hour and a half. The next documentary I'm making, actually it's being edited as we speak, and it's actually being uploaded on February 28th. It's exclamation point YT RAM. My next video is a Luka Doncic documentary. And it's not a career deep dive. It's not, this is Luka when he was a kid. Now look at Luka. Yay. It's not that. It's not that. It's not that. It's very different than that. It's a Luka Doncic documentary, but it's not that. So if that interests you, be sure to subscribe to Jay-Z Uncut, my YouTube channel. Okay. Yeah, that's my hot take. I think the Lakers are going to fall out. Now, the reason being is I've talked about this a lot, but some people still yet to understand what I mean. In case you guys don't know, and I actually talk about this in my documentary, the Los Angeles Lakers, ever since the year 2000, the NBA gives them an easier schedule to start off the season because people are distracted with the NFL, and that's how it's always worked. Since 2000, that's 26 years, they give the Los Angeles Lakers and the Boston Celtics the most difficult stretches at the end of the season. If you don't believe me, let's look through it. After the Super Bowl, their schedule gets increasingly difficult. Now, let's look at when the Super Bowl was. I believe it was February 6th, I think. Let's look at their schedule. The Golden State Warriors, the Oklahoma City Thunder, the San Antonio Spurs, the Dallas Mavericks, they were supposed to be good. The Los Angeles Clippers, they were supposed to be good. The Boston Celtics, the Orlando Magic, they're supposed to be good. The Phoenix Suns, that's their one bad team. They were supposed to be bad, but the Phoenix Suns are what? They're good. Next, the Golden State Warriors. The Sacramento Kings were supposed to be good. The Pelicans, well, you already know. The Denver Nuggets, Indiana Pacers were supposed to be good. The New York Knicks, the Minnesota Timberwolves, the Chicago Bulls, bad. The Denver Nuggets again, the Houston Rockets again, the Miami Heat, the Orlando Magic, the Detroit Pistons, the Indiana Pacers were supposed to be good. Nets suck, Wizards suck, Cavs, Cleveland Cavaliers, the Oklahoma City Thunder, the Dallas Mavericks were supposed to be good. The Oklahoma City Thunder again, the Golden State Warriors, the Phoenix Suns, and the Utah Jazz. Did you guys pick up on that? 95% of the teams that they're playing are not just play-in teams, they're playoff teams. Thunder, 3 more times. The Rockets, 2 more times. The Pistons, 1 more time. The Denver Nuggets, 2 more times. The Warriors, 2 more times. The Phoenix Suns, 2 more times. The Orlando Magic, 2 more times. The New York Knicks. My point being, the Lakers are going to fall into the play-in. Their schedule only gets more difficult. That's my next bold take. I think my final bold take for the rest of this regular season, and I don't think it's that bold, but my final bold take, I think the New York Knicks are going to hit a hot streak. They got OG back after he lost his toenail. I think the New York Knicks are going to go on a fucking tear right now. And I think it's going to happen at the perfect time. I think the New York Knicks are going to beat my Detroit Pistons tonight. In fact, I think they might embarrass the Detroit Pistons tonight. The Pistons are without Jalen Duren and Isaiah Stewart because of the suspensions. I think the New York Knicks are going to go on an absolute tear. I think the Knicks are going to just lock in and reach this otherworldly level, and New York Twitter is going to get absolutely obnoxious. We can go ahead and look at their upcoming schedule. It's against the Pistons without Duren and Stu. It's the Rockets, the Bulls, the Cavs, the Bucks, the Spurs, the Raptors, the Thunder, the Nuggets, the Lakers, the Clippers, the Jazz. That stretch is going to be extremely important. The Spurs, Raps for seeding, Thunder to show that they're serious, Nuggets to show that they're serious, the Lakers to show that they're serious, the Clippers to show that they're serious, the Jazz, the Pacers, the Warriors, the Pacers. So this schedule is ass. Check this rotation out. You have the Jazz, the Pacers, the Warriors, the Pacers, the Nets, the Wizards, the Pelicans, the Hornets, with all due respect, the Thunder, the Rockets, the Grizzlies, the Bulls, the Hawks, the Celtics, the Raptors, and then the Hornets to finish it off. So their schedule is getting difficult and then easy and then difficult again. So I think they're going to go on a hot streak. I genuinely believe they're going to go on a hot streak. I think they might be able to get the first seed. The Pistons have held the first seed since they grabbed it in the second week of the NBA. So we'll see if they can take it back. Guys, I think that's all I have for my NBA hot takes for now. I think that is all I have for the remaining of the season. I hope you guys did enjoy today's episode. Twitch chat, nobody go anywhere. We are still live. TikTok and YouTube, if you guys did enjoy, be sure to swing on into the Twitch stream because we are still live. I told you guys today's episode will be a little bit casual. Like I said, it'll be our shortest episode in a while. So if you guys did enjoy, be sure to come through to the Twitch stream. That's Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch. Podcast listeners, be sure to leave a 5-star rating and review if you guys did enjoy. And we'll be back tomorrow morning, now that we'll have actual NBA games to cover starting tomorrow. Before we go, Quick Scoping wants to say, hot take, Spurs get the number 1 seed. Let's see if that is a hot take or not. They are 3 games behind the Spurs. I think it's possible. I really do. I really, really do. Yeah, guys, if you did enjoy this show, be sure to drop a like on TikTok, drop a follow. We do this Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern. 5-star rating and review, podcast listeners, and Twitch chat. We are still live, so nobody go anywhere. I got nothing left to say except for thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. And as always, guys, thank you for watching / listening. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern. All